What's up, everybody? My name's Trey. This is Denzel. Welcome back to Better Days Sports, and have a beautiful episode for you. Because the second round of the playoffs is upon us, and we have the Indiana Pacers versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. So we'll kind of talk about this matchup in particular, give our breakdowns, give our thoughts, who's going to win the series, and that type of goodness. But if you are new to the channel, new to the pod, make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell to be notified every time we post a video, and leave a comment in the comment section down below of who you have in this series, Pacers or Cavaliers. And just like that, Denzel, go ahead and take us away, my boy.
Game is going on live right now, so we have the benefit of seeing that. But, I think that this is a well-balanced series with or without Darius Garland, to be honest. Ty Jerome is a fantastic player. I talked about him on being one of the most underrated players, and I think he steps up just fine and proves himself this series better than a lot of people thought he could. But outside of that, I also think that the Pacers have been exposed for their lack of interior defense, which is crazy when you think about it, because Miles Turner is one of the best shot blockers in the NBA and in recent history, to be honest. So those are the two things that stand out to me right now. Outside of that, I think this is going to be one of those series that goes to Game 7. My goodness. And that the winner of this series is going to the NBA Finals, because, hear me out. The Celtics do not look as unstoppable as I thought they would. They're plateauing at the wrong time, to be honest. It just seems like there's a lot of nagging, chronic pain and injuries that players are going through, specifically Jason Tatum. I know he won't come out and say it, but he is not moving as smooth as he has in previous years. Don't know what's going on there. I know Jaylen Brown for sure has something going on with him. So when your two stars are dealing with nagging injuries or nagging pains like that, it just makes the rest of the players around him have to step up in different ways that, sure they can, but at the end of the day, this is a star-driven league, so your stars have to play up to par in the playoffs. And then on the other side of that, we have the Knicks, who their stars are just flat out tired, right? They've played a ton of minutes, 40 minutes almost per night, over 60 games. That adds up. But getting back to the Cavs versus Pacers, you have an ensemble cast on both teams that I think, could carry them to the finals, whoever wins this series, that is, with their depth alone. The amount of role players on both teams is just it's just fantastic, and I think that they both have it. They both have dynamic bigs that can score, that can defend. They both have really good guards that can get it done at all three levels. They both have forwards that can defend, that can score a little bit, but they don't have to be given plays, drawn up towards, so to speak, right? A play can break down. Nope, there goes a corner three from this guy. Oop, there goes a corner three from that guy, on both sides of the ball. So I think as far as entertainment value goes, this is the series to watch in this round, to be honest, on both sides, on Eastern Conference and Western Conference. Some very good basketball will be played. Defense will be hit and miss, but hey, that's okay. What do you think, Trey? Sorry for talking so much.
No, you get it. I don't think this is a close series if Garland does not play. If Garland, as we see, he's out game one, if he does not come back relatively quickly, I don't feel like putting all of the pressure on Mitchell to be able to score your points is going to be the way that you're going to win this series. Garland is going to be needed just because, if nothing else, he puts pressure on the opposing team's key point guard. So in this, it'd be Halliburton, don't get me wrong, is a very good player on both sides of the ball, but if you're not actually attacking him off the dribble, you're not putting him in pick and rolls, he's allowed to just kind of coast on the defensive end and put all of his effort into the offensive side, whether it be coming off picks, with assists, being able to shoot the three. And Halliburton does a great job of that. Now, there's not necessarily a person that you can hide on this roster, but without Garland, I just don't think they can put enough pressure on them offensively to really make this a series. So if he's out more than 2 games, I think the Pacers probably win this in 5 just because the Cavs are going to have to rely heavily on Mitchell to do everything for them offensively, and I just don't think that's a way to actually win games. I am going to be interested to see who kind of picks up that slack, and I think this might just because I'm a huge DeAndre Hunter fan. I think that person's actually going to be DeAndre Hunter coming off the bench because they need some type of scoring option. We know Ty Jerome has kind of asserted himself in, yes, he might not start, but he's going to play major minutes. So they need another person off the bench that's going to give you a lot of points. And like I said, right now, I just don't think they have that player just because Garland is not playing. Do you have an X factor in the series?
I think for the Cleveland Cavaliers, it'll be a shocking X factor. We all know what Ty Jerome can do, but Isaac Okoro is a guy that's forgotten about, and I think his spot has kind of been taken by Ty Jerome, but he's still getting a healthy amount of minutes, so I think he'll be the X factor in terms of helping out scoring and burst, and also defending too. Especially since, they're going to be on a heavy rotation with Garland, even when he comes back, because it's clear that he's not 100%. So we're getting a 50 to 60% Garland at this point in the playoffs. And the Cavs are going to need every bit of that, but they're not going to overextend and play him 30-plus minutes. I just really don't think they will. It wouldn't make sense to strain him out that much when you have a team that has the potential to go to the NBA Finals, right? On the other side of things, man, for the Pacers, it's tough. It really is because their starting 5 is going to score. So really it comes down to the bench players. Which bench player? That's a tough one to say. It really is. Obi Toppin getting double digits. He can help rebound. Thomas Bryant, believe it or not, he has shown the ability to have great games as well too. But now that I'm looking at it, I think Benedict Mathurin will be the one. That will be the X factor. If he has great games, they're probably going to win. If he doesn't have a great game, probably going to lose. They don't depend too much on Ben Shepherd to get buckets like that. No disrespect to him. But I think Benedict Mathurin stepping in for whether it be Neesmith or Nembhard, during the time that he's in there and to get buckets. And then also put pressure on the defense. You penetrating, making the right plays on offense. And defense, too, by not fouling because, Neesmith's in foul trouble right now with 4 of them. So if Benedict Mathurin can step in, keep his foul count low, put pressure on the defense, and also score when need be, boom, I think the Pacers have it. This is a very competitive, like I said, this is the best series to watch right now just because it's so balanced. Every other game, Knicks Celtics is just, I'm telling you, that's going to be the ugliest series. People are like, oh my goodness, it's going to be low scoring. There's nothing wrong with low scoring. It's going to be very physical. Nothing wrong with physical. It's going to be very methodical, everything that they do. Nothing wrong with that. But when in terms of entertainment value of the average fan, I don't think the average fan will like that series. Timberwolves versus whoever they play is going to be a wash. Thunder Nuggets, it's not going to be a wash, but I'm telling you, the Thunder's going to dominate. So this, the best balance that I see with all the series going on right now. So I can't wait, man. Game 1 right now. It's good one.
Yeah. For this series, I think it's really going to boil down to who can shoot the 3 at an efficient clip. Because we know that the 2 stars for the Cleveland Cavaliers, even though he's not playing, but Garland and Mitchell at times can be very streaky from the 3-point line. Don't get me wrong, they're still going to score because unlike Jalen Green that we talked about in the last video, when their shot's not falling, they have a tendency to attack the basket and still get their points. But if they're not shooting the 3 at a somewhat reasonable level, I think just the team defense that the Pacers play are going to hold them to, less points than they are, especially in the regular season, especially without Garland playing. So whoever shoots the 3 more efficiently, whether it be the Pacers or the Cleveland Cavaliers, is going to win this series. And they don't even necessarily have to get up a lot of 3s. If you can shoot, 4 for 8 from 3 this game, I think that's good enough. If you can just make sure you're efficient, I don't really care how much they're actually getting up. They just need to see the ball go through the basket, especially for the type of scores that they have, which are somewhat undersized guards. They just need to see the ball go through the basket. So who are you calling this series?
Until you just said what you said about the 3-point, which I think is very, very valid. I didn't realize that Donovan Mitchell was 1 for 10 right now. Believe it or not, Max Strus, he used to be an absolute monster from 3, right? Not anymore. Those not the Magic. I always wanted to say the Magic. Those Miami Heat days are far behind him, right? So when you look at their roster, like I was saying, the Pacers, I think, are more inclined and are better 3-point shooters. 1 through 5 can shoot threes easily. Now, while the Cleveland Cavaliers aren't as inclined, because we don't want Jared Allen out there shooting threes, the rest of the guys can shoot threes. So I think that, that's a good call out by you. The more efficient from 3 will win. But outside of that, I just think the Pacers have the advantage slightly because of health. And then the other thing you said, smaller guards. While they made my great combo list, one of the best, duos in the NBA right now, Garland and Mitchell. If one of them is not at, close to 100%, and they're also going against bigger guards, outside of Nembhard, Neesmith is bigger. Halliburton, he might not look like it, but he is a good 6'6", 6'5", right? Benedict Mathurin, Ben Shepherd, these are bigger guards, man. And, Isaac Okoro isn't that big. Ty Jerome isn't that big. So on and so forth. They just don't have the larger guard. You never played against length, I'm telling you, man. It's a difference. And, excuse me, Ty Jerome is 6'5", but I just don't see it. Don't see it at all.
Yeah, this series specifically is going to be interesting. Because right now, with Garland being out, you're putting the entire offensive burden on Mitchell, which, don't get me wrong, we've seen him take that, but when he was with the Utah Jazz, we saw how far it took you, though. It didn't take you to the finals. It takes you second round of the playoffs. So that's the only thing that worries me. If Garland can come back, he's going to have to be, very close to 100%. I don't need Garland at 60% just because he can spread the floor. That just does not get it done for me, because if he's not putting consistent pressure on his defender on the offensive side of the ball, I would rather him, bring in Max Strus or let Ty Jerome have those minutes, because as a smaller guard who is not 100%, if you're not able to beat your man off the dribble at this stage in his career, unless you're Steph Curry, yeah, sure. Do you want to be able to say, hey, I'm playing for my team, I'm playing for my city, I'm playing for the other people on the roster? Yeah, but that doesn't equal winning basketball. Just because you're playing does not mean your team's better off with you on the floor. So we'll just have to see how that goes. We'll keep an eye on it. But I think with Garland playing, if he is healthy, probably, comes back next game, I think the Cavs can take this in 7. If he misses more than 2 games, I got the Pacers in 5, just because I think their roster is constructed and they're better. And like I said, we've seen Mitchell be the number 1 scoring option, and it just does not take you to the finals. If you have a 2-headed monster, though, I think it's a lot different. I mean, we did just see them sweep the Heat and pretty handily at that. So if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified every time I post a video. Leave a comment in the comment section down below who you have winning this series. As of right now, the Pacers are up in the 4th quarter of game 1, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and win this game. So who do you think's going to win this series? But just like that, we will see you in the next one. Peace.